Disclaimer: the following program features language not suitable for all audiences, and the expressed opinions found within this program are a reflection of those who feature on the PopCulture Effect podcast. Welcome to the PopCulture Effect. I'm Rockin Rob, and on this show I bring my closest friends together to talk about all of the news happening in our pop culture world around us. Today we have a full house. It's quite the historic moment for us. My OCD would have wished this to be on a more milestone episode, like episode 10, but you know what? Can't live in a perfect world. So today, we are joined by Blaze.
Hello.
Gemini.
Hello.
Menace.
Hello.
And for the first time in Pop Culture Effect podcast history, unless you're a YouTube viewer, we have Subset.
Heyo.
We finally have us all together, and you would believe that with 5 people, there's going to be a lot to talk about. Yeah, I guess though there's no better way than to just start us off, because we tried to do this last week and it completely failed, but we're going to try again. So Menace, what's going on with Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest?
So, Fairy Tail, one of my favorite animes of all time, if not my favorite, is finally coming back with the continuation of the manga that is now being adapted into anime. There hasn't been a full release date yet, to my knowledge, but it is going to be covering the new manga series, 100 Year Quest, which has them going to a new continent that we haven't seen before and meeting a guild of dragon eaters. So we had the dragon slayers, which were taught by dragons or had dragon lacrima in them to fight, but these ones actually consume dragons to gain their power.
Yeah.
Along with some other wizard that has shown up at Fairy Tail while they're away, who's trying to get to Natsu.
Yeah, I have the first couple copies of the manga, and at least from the first couple portion of what I can gather from like the story, yeah, it's gonna be quite the interesting thing to actually see it all be animated, especially with the fact that we're kind of getting an A plot and a B plot, where we're getting the plot of Natsu and his friends going on the mission, and then you have everybody else back at the guild.
Everybody
Dealing
else.
with this new threat.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I don't want to give away any spoilers with what I've seen in the manga, but the first dragon eater they meet is like so cool.
I think that it'll be cool. I'm glad to see everybody again. I hope everybody can come back to reprise their roles.
Right? I hope so
For
too.
the voice actors.
In a perfect world. But you know, they could have just let Makarov die, but
In a perfect world.
in a perfect world.
They really consume the dragon, like all of it.
Yeah.
So they like eat them, or some magic fairy tale thing.
The name of the type of wizard they are like dragon eaters, or
Did they come out with a release date?
late
Sometime-
2023, possible early 2024.
Hey, so it's not even that far away. I'm happy about that.
No.
I was really excited for Fairy Tail to come back in an anime capacity.
I've been waiting for so long. Rewatched Fairy Tail like 6 times.
I was
First
happy.
Bleach, now fairy tale.
Right? They're all getting revamps or continuations. I'm just hoping for Noragami to get their season 3.
And now that the whole Gear 5 thing is over with One Piece, I hope that all the other anime start picking back up again.
Dude, don't even get me started on that, because I literally sat through the first episode that it appeared in, and they did nothing. They used reanimation like 6 times throughout the episode.
I saw a clip earlier today. The man runs down and he has like the Roadrunner feet, and
Yep.
his face comes off of his body. He stretches his arm, grabs it, and sucks his face back into his head.
Let's not forget the fact that he moonwalks in the air in one of the scenes.
He is the personification of Toon Force.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He would
I love Joy Boy.
he would kick the shit out of Ultra Instinct Goku, but not SpongeBob.
I think I think he may even beat Sailor Moon at this point.
Doubt.
But going from one anime revival to an actual anime that's just been very recent in both its debut as an anime and in other means, but Subset, why don't you take us through what's been going on for Zom100?
It's young. It's still new. 5 episodes out. An episode just came out today that I had to watch before this. And as the title goes, we're following along one unfortunate fellow after being abused and worked down to the ground for 3 years working in a company. When the apocalypse happened, he was already on the brink of something, but the next night, everything went up to hell. Zombies everywhere, and the only thing he cared about was that he didn't have to go back to work.
God, that's such a fucking mood, honestly.
I feel that on an emotional level, especially working
Literally.
working at a co-op.
Wasn't he like being chased by zombies when that whole thing was happening too? He's like being chased and he's like, I don't have to go to work today.
Yes. What I liked about it, not only did you get a clear view of what it was thinking, but all around him, everything was all gray and black, all monotone, until the zombies picked up and started chasing him. Then color was there, things were getting a little brighter, and then things got even more brighter when he said, I don't have to go back to work. And then he just proceeded to just enjoy himself in the early stages of the apocalypse.
It was the happiest day of his life.
I always think that animes are just gonna soon lose ideas because of how many animes are out there that you don't even realize exist with stories that are new and unique. You would assume at one point they just become rehashes of older animes trying to redo a story again. But then you get stuff like this that just continues to surprise us with new stories.
I was gonna say, when you said it was like a zombie survival anime, I'm gonna be honest, my first thought went to, oh my god, is this just a rehash of High School of the Dead?
I mean, you're not wrong. How far into their run have they gone for their anime?
5 episodes now, and I know the anime is based off of manga, which I haven't read. I'm an anime viewer, but I mean, right now, 5 episodes out currently. And the funny thing is that you guys mentioned High School of the Dead. The way they decided to title their episode is similar to how High School of the Dead did theirs.
Oh, really?
Is it really?
Yes. So like in High School of the Dead, they're like, in the first episode, it's Spring of the Dead, and then Escape from the Dead, etc., etc. While in Zom100 is similar. They always have like of the dead in the end, and what was going on with the current episode.
Interesting.
Is this going to be another like 12 episode season?
I'm not sure, but things how most anime been going, it probably will. This anime is taking on a certain viewpoint in zombie apocalypse and all that snaz in a different light. Because usually you worry about survival and you and your people. In this, it's just figuring out, at least the main character, he's just figuring out what to do before he turns into a zombie, not survive. The reason why he's acting this way is purely because of how he was treated in those 3 years at that company, that production company that he worked in. That place completely messed up his how he thinks things through. And the moment everything went awry, the only thing he cared about is living his best life at that point. Legit, the second episode, he just wanted to laze around in his home and just drink beer.
Well, yeah, dude, your first day off in 3 years, that's a mood right there.
And then 4 beers in or 3 beers in, he had to go do a beer run because he ran out. And that's all he cared about. He didn't give a f about anything else at that point. He was legit here just trying to do everything that he wants to do just to have fun and fulfill his life that he couldn't in those 3 years. He wasn't even affected by all the zombies around him. He was already duking it out the moment is going around.
With how normalized zombies are in today's media, I wouldn't blame somebody just being so jaded. They're just like, oh, actual zombies, whatever. Can I get my 2 liters of milk, please?
Well, in the company, he was a literal zombie. Just come into work, stay at work more, and work again.
That's how those 9 to 5s are.
He's not the only one with a bucket list, FYI. There's so far, he's sharing one with his best friend, and then there's another character who's prominent. She's another survivalist, and she's purely focused in what you expect a survivalist will be. Her list is legit how things to do and not becoming a zombie compared to the other dude.
Yeah, and picking up straight people is a way to get yourself killed.
Well, she's more very strict in being logical. If there's not a logical reason to do something, she won't do it. She won't even spoil herself with a simple treat because it's not needed. It's not necessary.
She's on that real grind set.
Grind set mindset, baby.
Oh, so I didn't say that because she's always wearing a track or a gym outfit, a sports bra and a sports leggings and then a big oversized jacket. She does runs all day.
Yeah,
she keeps track of her daily intake. She even has a row of bottles of vitamins she takes one a day.
You gotta be in peak position.
It's a smart survival tactic. All you need to do now at that point is starving instead of nutritional starving, shit like that.
Well, going from the survival of zombies to the survival of vampires, I just recently got to watch the last Voyage of Demeter. And I'm gonna be honest, this, like, when I first got out of the theater, I genuinely thought it was like a mid movie, like mid-tier, like not incredible, but not terrible. And after thinking about that, after letting it sit for a few days, I feel like it was a pretty decent understanding of the movie, because they had a lot of great elements to it. It's basically, there's this carrier ship that's taking these, they're transporting a lot of cargo, and they're traveling to London. Now, one of these cargo shipments end up housing the vampire himself, Dracula. And it's this really interesting concept of you're literally just stuck on a boat out at sea with the vampire of vampires.
Here's my thing about this movie. I've not seen it yet. I desperately want to see it. Not because of being stuck on a ship with Dracula himself, but because Sir Davos himself, Liam Cunningham, is one of the main characters in this movie, and I just want to see it just for him.
It was awesome. Honestly, the whole cast was great. There was a real wide variety of not only personalities, but different like backgrounds. Like, it was just so interesting to see all these different people clash. But I will say, I won't give away too much of spoilers in the sense of the movie. But let's just say that the final scene of the movie had far more implications and was much more interesting than the whole of the movie. Like, I don't want to say that as a negative to the movie, because I still appreciated the movie, but at the end of the movie, I was just sitting there thinking, man, I really want to, like, watch whatever you just showed off now. You know what I mean?
As a side note, Robbie, you mispronounced the last word.
Demeter.
I always thought it was Demeter.
But yeah, great movie all around. I'd rate it about 6.5. Like, Blaze, I think you'd definitely enjoy it. It's got a lot of great things. The design of Dracula was so interesting, and the way they take the story is, honestly, there was one thing in the story that I genuinely didn't expect, and I was really happy when it happened. But yeah, great movie all around, and it was refreshing to go to the movie theater and just see something original.
I guess I will, you guys can do the rest of the podcast. I'm gonna go leave and go see the movie real quick.
Yeah, right? Literally just leaves.
You guys got this.
That'd be so funny. We got this.
Boy.
Well, speaking of movies, Blaze, before you leave, I think there's a certain thing we need to rectify here.
You mean the fact that our first attempt at talking about this topic from a previous episode got completely botched?
I mean, I don't want to point fingers at who didn't specifically turn off the desktop audio.
It was you.
And who,
I will. It was Bobber.
you.
It was Bobber.
It was me. Yeah, I messed up. There's an episode out there that nobody will ever see. One of the movies that were on that list of topics was the TMNT Mutant Mayhem movie, and along with other news surrounding TMNT, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of talk about it. So Blaze, let's go back through a little overview of the movie itself, because I gotta say, it was one of the best animated movies I've seen all year.
It was both one of the best looking animated films, but also the worst looking animated films at the same time,
right?
Because of the animation style they did. Like, the movie looks phenomenal, but at the same time too, how the animation is, it makes some things look ugly, but in a good way.
Right.
Like how the movie is basically about turtles wanting to fit in with humanity and society. Definitely more harder take than some of the other representations of the turtles in the past, where they're like ninjas and wanting to be in the shadows and protect humanity, while this version of them are definitely more wanting to be out in the light and more accepted by humanity. But it's kind of funny how, like, the mutants look cool and look good, but then the humans look ugly as
Right? Yeah, there was definitely a offness to the way that the humans were drawn.
Because it wasn't about the humans.
Exactly, it was about the mutants. That's why it's called Mutant Mayhem. God.
Mm-hmm. But going back to the animation, though, it definitely looks really good in the fact of it's very unique in the style that it looks like the whole movie was like drawn out on like a kid's notepad while they're not paying attention in class.
That's literally exactly how I was thinking of describing it, like while I was watching it. But
And it works so well.
Oh yeah, it was great. I loved the characters. I loved the cast.
So
Yeah, but the thing is, we haven't really seen them acting like kids like this. They're just kids.
They felt genuine,
goofing around.
I felt like a lot of the times in the animated shows, when they did TMNT, they felt like young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all really embody young teens in like the past like 2 generations of how teens are in like high school right now, early high school. And the cast of who they picked to be the 4 turtles was really good. And one thing that really shocked me is that the voice of Leo is actually the voice of Gumball from Nicholas Shentu. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He voices, I think he was like the 2nd voice actor for Gumball, and he really did really well as Leo in the film. But not only just the kids that were in it too, there were so many big cast members in this film. Seth Rogen, who was also the screenwriter and producer of this film, Post Malone, John Cena,
Jackie Chan as Splinter,
Ice Cube as Superfly, Giancarlo Esposito, I have no idea how to pronounce this man's name, but played the scientist Baxter at the beginning of the film, which is kind of interesting seeing him cameo as a quick character, because he's usually like a big villain character in most media. But Rotten Tomatoes is, from the reviews I've seen, the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes is giving it a 96%, and audience score is giving it a 91%. So it's doing really well.
I mean, hey, when you're dealing with an IP like TMNT, anything you do is going to be successful. Like whether it's
I don't know. You ever seen Secrets of the Ooze? You ever seen Secrets of the Ooze?
We're not going to talk about Secret of the Ooze, but like, come on, like with the modern day of how they treat IPs like Sonic and Mario, like especially with TMNT, like just recently they announced Last Ronin 2 is going to be starting as the comic book taking place after Last Ronin 1, and they actually just recently at the THQ Nordic event announced Last Ronin is going to be a video game, which is absolutely crazy. I am so excited for that. I want to see like a Ninja Gaiden-esque TMNT game with Michelangelo. That'd be so cool. Going from one IP that's kind of getting a wide range of content being released, Gemini, I heard from a lot of different YouTubers that League of Legends is making a really good 2D fighting game.
So as you know, Riot or League of Legends, it's been around since I'd say roughly 2009 or say with their MOBA game League of Legends. If you've heard of it,
Everybody's
you probably
heard of
know.
it.
Yeah, no, well, not everybody, but it's popular and it's crap. I'll admit, I play it tragically. I understand why it's so big. But yes, they have been trying to branch out to other forms, such as about 2 years ago they came out with Arcane. They've dropped a bunch of other games on Steam, such as they did Mage Seeker and other things. But yeah, they are currently working on a 2v2 fighting game. They haven't released a name for it yet. All they say is that it's just called Project L for the time being. It's slated to possibly release, I believe,
probably I'd say it was
year-ish.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah, they don't have like a definitive date yet because they're still pretty much like working on it. You know, I don't even think it's in like alpha stage yet technically, but they have released, some screenshots and they have some stuff on it. And they've even released, they've shown like what characters they have pretty, I'd say, fully fleshed out for the time being of where the game is in its current state, which is Darius, the Hand of Noxus. He is a general. You have Echo, the boy who shattered time. He's like a freedom fighter. Ari, she's pretty much the poster child of League of Legends, the nine-tailed fox, like sultry woman. And then there's Yasuo. He is every, male weeb's fantasy of how they picture themselves. If you've heard of the game, you definitely know of this character. But yeah, it's a 2v2, so it's like,
I actually hate Yasuo.
That's besides the point. But yeah, it is pretty much like, you and a friend or you and a random, God forbid, team up against another group of 2 to, fight. They've given like the basic universal moves, and then for the characters that are fleshed out, they have actually released like their movesets specific to them, and they look like they're pretty consistent to the abilities that they have in the MOBA version, whether it's the PC variant or you, God forbid, play on the phone game, which, I mean, I heard it's really good. It's just my phone's too horrible to even attempt it, so
it's actually plays just about as good as normal League.
I figured, but I heard it does look a lot crisper, but the art style that they're using is really cool as well. It's got this really crisp and clean cell shading fighting style where it is 2D, but it almost, like the pictures that they've shown also have this mild 3D look to it as well. So the style that they're using is very crisp and very clean. And I say the characters do look pretty on brand to how they were designed. They're a little different because of the style is different from what they've used in their past works that branched outside of the MOBA and everything. But as someone who's not really that big into fighting games, I definitely wouldn't mind giving it a try when it does come out, because I am a big sad League of Legends nerd.
I feel like there's a lot of potential for the roster too, especially with how many, because they could even time it to have like characters be released for Project L to give people a taste of how they'd play in League of Legends, and vice versa.
Yes and no, but considering that, like, you know, it's a very different from League of Legends, it's more of a way for Riot to branch out their brand. It's why they did Arcane. They were able to branch out the people who aren't really gamers and to just watch their content. They released Mage Seeker and to appeal more to the people who aren't into MOBAs and more prefer RPG story-based games. And I'm happy that they're doing this, because it's a way for them to keep their brand alive. Because yeah, League of Legends is very popular. It's been around for so long. The game is hot trash, but this is how they're able to keep their brand alive, by expanding to other people that don't really want to get into the MOBA or who are afraid, because I don't blame those people who have thought about it. Look at the game, look at the community, look at the time and effort and everything that it takes to learn the game. And they're like, you know what? No. Whoever has been in that situation, honestly, you made the right choice. Don't do it.
I'm just gonna be a casual Arcane.
It also goes to the fact of like the world of League of Legends is so big, them branching out like this gives them more room to actually tell the story of everything that's going on.
Oh yeah, totally. That's like one of the biggest things that still keeps me into League of Legends, is the lore and the world that they've crafted and create, because I love it so much. A lot of people who've been around for a while, they don't like the changes, but I think it's healthy. They're good changes, and I like how they do this, and I like how they build upon their world and their lore. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
And I'm also looking at pictures for people that are listening. If you guys have ever played like Guilty Gear, the art style is almost similar to that, with the 2D, 3D kind of animation.
Yeah, and from what I've heard from content creators like Glubku that have talked about Project L, what they're doing with the game and the way that they're kind of approaching certain aspects of it could genuinely change how people make fighting games going forward. So I'm super excited for this game to actually come out. We have Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, Mortal Kombat 1 now, but who knows, in another couple years we may have the singular games to stay, because I'm pretty sure Project L is going to be a standalone game where it's going to be a procedurally added on game like League of Legends is, where it can just go on for years and years.
It's possible. I mean, of course they're going to favor and work more on their baby, their first child of League of Legends. But if Project L really kicks off and people like it, of course they'll probably have a separate team that is devoted towards, adding things and keeping Project L updated. I honestly, I don't really know, because I'm not too big in the fighting game scene as to how a lot of them work. More than likely, yeah, they'll either just drop the whole character list, or at least what they plan. I highly doubt they'll add every single character, because there's a lot of champions to League of Legends and they pump them out like at least once every 3 to 6 months.
Hey, Smash Bros had like 100 characters. It's possible.
That's what I'm saying. But some of their abilities aren't really necessary, like, because some of them are archers or like, gunners and everything. I don't really see that translating well to a fighting game.
Yeah, I'd think for any character that they try to put in that, with how much of a stylistic change of gameplay it is, they definitely have to like rework their characters and rework how they work.
Well, that or like,
so is TF in the game?
They've only shown Echo, Darius, Ari, Yasuo.
Yeah, it says they have 23 champions coming on launch.
Yeah, they might have some of the more like ranged characters, or ADCs as they're called, in the game, which I'm not surprised they also added Jinx, because she is their other poster child for League of Legends. I mean, Arcane was literally based around her backstory along with her sister Vi. Like, she's one of the poster children for League of Legends. Legends next to Ari and Lux. Like, she's one of the top 3 that like when you think of League of Legends, you think of usually Jinx, honestly.
With the newer fighting games coming out, like Project L and Jujutsu's Curse Clash, I do like how they're shying away from like 1v1s and they're going more like 2v2s team-based battles.
Like
because that also allows you to play with more of your friends and stuff like that. Yeah, like
granted for that,
how you're actually able to
Demons
like
were
have
one.
multiple people in the battle at once.
Keeps it
Right.
going.
Oh, it would keep, especially for like now that we have like Storm coming back and Budokai Tenkaichi. Like, there's definitely going to be a resurgence of fighting games in the near future. I'm excited for it.
It's gonna be horrible for my temperament.
But speaking of resurgences in content, going from a resurgence in video games to a resurgence in movie franchises, because Lionsgate just acquired Entertainment One's TV and film operations from Hasbro for $500 million. And you guys know what this means. We get to see, and I'm not even exaggerating, I thought this was a meme when I saw it in the article, but there's going to be an actual Monopoly movie.
This little thing.
I don't know how they're going to make it happen, but yes, a Monopoly movie.
Entertainment One made the D&D movie, right?
I think so, yes.
That's the case. I wonder if that's gonna mean we are or not gonna get any more D&D.
Yep, so Lionsgate owns all of their film rights, and even some non-Hasbro IPs they now own. But the one thing that I saw that was just intrigued me is the fact that, like, with this Monopoly movie, we could see other Hasbro IPs come out. You know, we could finally see a Hasbro cinematic universe with the Transformers and the G.I. Joe and Barbie and Play-Doh.
I wanted to do a Uno movie.
It'll just be interesting to see what kind of new content this agreement will bring, what kind of new movies, experiences we're going to see. Maybe we'll be able to play Monopoly in the theater. I really hope not. I hope it's just an actual movie. But yeah.
It's going to be an interactive movie.
Oh, God.
Oh god,
That'd be
Make
awful.
it personal even more.
But speaking of new experiences, let's talk about the new experience that Destiny players are going to be experiencing when they go talk to Zavala.
Well, it's not active right now, but as everybody knows, the great Lance Reddick passed not too long ago.
R.I.P.
And a lot of the gaming community came together to help out us Guardians in Destiny. And it was honestly a very momentous thing in gaming. I love that. But they, in this last week's TWAB, they announced the new voice actor for Zavala has been announced, and it is Keith David, who, for those of you that don't know, one, how do you not know? And two, he's played in such things. He played Spawn, he played Dr. Fletcher in Princess and the Frog, played the Arbiter in Halo, just a bunch of all-around really good characters in movies and games.
Oh, and Keith David from Saints Row 4.
He played himself in that game?
Yeah, I'm 100% serious. He played himself in that game.
Isn't he also the president in Rick and Morty?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
He is,
Yes.
yeah.
He's been
Keith
getting
David's
around.
such a great
Dude,
actor.
Keith David is kind of similar to BoJack Horseman, where you just hear him everywhere now. Wait, who was the guy that played BoJack Horseman?
He's such a good actor, but I do believe, at least in my opinion, with everything that happened with the gaming community when Lance passed away, I believe they should have retired Zavala. I know it's going to be a hot take, but I believe they should have retired Zavala from the Vanguard.
I mean, I
in
can
the
understand
story.
that, but...
It would make sense, but we already are down one Vanguard.
But we've already seen that one Vanguard is coming back.
Yeah, but for how long?
I
That's
think
just my opinion. I am excited to see what Keith can bring to the table.
hearing him as Arbiter gives me hope for how he's going to be as Zavala, but also the fact of he's worked with Bungie in the past through being Arbiter, so it's not a new work experience for him. He's worked with these people.
That was also a lot different Bungie back then.
Fair.
So all of you who are really good in the animating and artistic view, can't wait for the memes, baby.
Oh, yeah,
there
the memes are
already
going to be great.
I'm seeing so many memes of him him as Mr. President's voice over Zavala.
I saw one, it's like a little snippet. I think it was from like when Kay died, and they took a little snippet from the campaign of MW2 when they were going through the invasion of the US, of Burger Town.
Yeah, I'm at least glad that they're still keeping the character alive, because I feel like it would, like, I get where you're coming from about there being a reason to kill him off.
I'm not even saying kill him off. Like, the character Zavala has been through a lot. He could retire from Vanguard and appoint one of the other Titans that have come back to the point of Vanguard.
I just feel like it might be slightly cheap just with it being, like, following the actual real world death. I feel like it'd be a little bit distasteful to...
He was a warlock,
Lance was a warlock, Meg.
I find that hilarious.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. Like, with how big of an not event, but like how the community, the gaming community, all came together. You had all these videos of the gaming community coming together to like help out the Guardians, or take some rest. Guardian will protect the galaxy while you're grieving, kind of thing. I feel like it kind of plays down that momentous gaming event of just being like, yeah, here's the new guy.
That's fair. I guess
that's just business, man.
To be fair, they waited a long time before recasting him.
Yeah.
It would have felt distasteful if they recast him like within like a week or so.
Right.
But it's been like a few months.
And besides, they're still gonna use his line still for Zavala at this point.
Yeah,
get rid of
they said they have Lance's lines up to the final shape, which is the beginning of the last year for Destiny 2.
You know, they'll probably do some witchcraft explanation at the final shape to explain why he has a different voice.
Okay, I don't think they're gonna go full gumball with it.
You never know. That was the greatest way to acknowledge why the voice actor's voice is different.
No, he's just gonna get smacked in the nuts real quick, because Ghost is gonna die. He's gonna recover, and then he's just gonna have a different voice.
Cade's gonna come back and just sack tap him.
But yeah, to keep things going, Gemini, I know you had your feelings about Baldur's Gate 3 that you wanted to express last week, but now you have an extra week to play the game. You have an extra week of time on your hands with it. So what has been your opinion of Baldur's Gate 3?
This game is so amazing. You can tell that Larian put so much time and care and effort into Baldur's Gate 3. There's no game that doesn't release that doesn't have problems. My character's hair glitches out every goddamn cutscene because she's a gnome, and I don't think the hair properly works well with the smaller body frames, but that's fine. The game only just released like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and they've only released hotfixes. They haven't even released the first number one patch. Of course there's going to be problems. Larian did such a great job. The voice acting is phenomenal. The animations of the characters, especially the facial animations, they always like do a little like twitch or something where it's just the subtlest of movements that mimic and reflect how human facial like faces move, in the sense of like, of your emotion, just a subtle flinch or like twitch of your character's face during like a moment that could be like happy or stressful. They didn't have to put that thought into it, but they did. It's 5th edition D&D, so it's pretty on point to how 5th edition works. They changed a couple things here and there to make it more fit better in the game and everything. But,
I want my Hexblade Warlock, god damn it.
Yeah, there isn't everything that's part of base game D&D and everything, but the game is over 100 gigs. They added a lot. There's, the ability to multi-class, you can respec and everything. You can create your custom character, or you can, if you don't have the time and energy or creative juices to make a custom character, they have pre-mades for you that you can just play, and they cover a pretty wide variety of classes. Or if you don't even like that, you can then just respec them later.
All you have all this, and it's 4-player multiplayer.
It is, yeah. You can group up you and 3 of your homies and just go explore the Forgotten Realms. Another thing I've seen people praising it for is the fact that when you buy it, you get everything. Like, yeah, there's a $10 like digital or like a digital deluxe edition that just adds like a couple things, but it's not necessary to the game. It's not like it adds, a special quest or whatever that's very specific to it. It's not like another console, like the PS5 edition and everything doesn't have like a special edition. Looking at you, Hogwarts Legacy, adding a whole new quest and character for the console edition. Like, they're not doing all this sneaky shady shit. What you buy, you get the entirety of it. There's no microtransactions, there's no like other shit. And granted, the game did just come out, so they might release a DLC in the future. Who knows? It just released, but if they do, that's fine. It's not like they're trying to pull some like Ubisoft microtransaction shit, or God forbid, we're not going to talk about what EA likes to do with their money.
Time saver.
I will say though, the character customization in the game is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that
And-
you've been having a good time with it.
I've been having so much fun, and it's such a big game. I haven't even completed it yet, technically. Like, there's so much to do in that game. The first act alone, I think, takes people at least 10 hours to complete. The first act
Jeez.
alone. And there's 3 acts. Well, there's so much to explore and to do and everything. I mean, if you want to, like, fully scrub every inch of the game, which I know some of you are one of those types where you have to scrub and scour every inch of the game.
Why you
Yeah,
gotta
I'm
call us
looking at
out?
you.
Every-
I'm looking at you, Tyler.
Every corner must be explored.
They just have so much depth to this game, and the most funny thing is you know what, actually I think that's for Blaze to talk about, I think, so I won't mention that, but I do find it funny how other people are getting upset at how good this game is.
Well, speaking of the controversial
Oh.
issues that have stemmed from Baldur's Gate 3, why don't we get into it? Blaze, why don't you talk about the Baldur's Gate 3 lawsuit that's been happening?
So, after Baldur's Gate 3 came out, there was a sudden announcement of a bunch of other companies, i.e. Activision, Blizzard, Ubisoft, and EA, filing a lawsuit against Larian Studios for defaming the game industry by actually making a game that works and unfairly raising expectations by setting the bar too high for other companies to match.
Wait, what?
But you
Claiming-
look at that, and it's like, this is the whole Elden Ring thing again, but on steroids, essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, basically asking for $100 billion in damages.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm assuming that this was like, you know, a joke, right?
So here's the kicker. This was all started by a TikToker named Stasma who made a video going over all of it. The entire thing was 100% fake. He made it all up, and the entire internet believed it.
Hey man, word of mouth and like you could trust anything you see online these days.
Not really, but it gives a good precedent on how the gaming community really views the studios nowadays. They're not
Right.
surprised he did this.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are a couple executives at, you know, these bigger AAA title studios that probably were a little irritated at how well this game did and how much Larian put into this, because Larian isn't that big of a studio, if I recall. Like, their next biggest title was Divinity Original Sin, which is a good game, but like, they're not that big of a studio in comparison to
Big AAA
Honkin',
studios
yeah,
and
the-
shit with all the
like-
money and people and time.
But
And
it
it's-
is
The fact that they can do all of this.
It's so
Mhm.
mind-boggling
Do
that
all
the
this-
entire internet just instantly believed it without it being fact-checked. And so many people were just going in riots against these companies, saying that they're never going to buy games from these companies ever again because of how petty they were from this lawsuit that doesn't even exist.
That's so fun. That's so funny. Just a complete
But-
fabrication.
But on one hand, honestly, that is kind of a good thing that even if this wasn't true, even the fact that it wasn't true, you know, it is a good thing that Larian is kind of pretty much like raising the bar on games, because a lot of these big title, you know, developers and everything, they feel they know that they can just shit out the bare minimum of a game and people will buy it because we're, you know, small-brained consumers who just will buy anything with a title on it. I'm guilty of that. I mean, God forbid, when a new Sims 4 pack drops, I grab my wallet and I instantly give them my money. Then when EA, especially BioWare, when Dragon Age 4 drops, I know damn well I'm pre-ordering that shit. You know, I admit, I am
I'd like to-
very much guilty of that. Everybody is. And it's sad that it's true in the sense of they can get away with that. And I'm glad that Larian didn't fall into that.
I want to say that I am absolutely thrilled to finally have the whole team together with Menace,
It was always a good time.
Gemini,
Fun times as always.
Blaze.
Damn it, Gemini, you said the exact same thing I was going to say. It was fun.
I mean, I think it was a little bit more fun for Gemini and Blaze due to the amount of content that they had at their disposal. There was just a lot of stuff that you guys. I'm glad you guys felt passionate about talking about it. And
of course.
last but not least, making his PopCulture Effect debut, Subset.
Subset. Yep,
Yep, he's now Pokemon. I want to implore everyone else to take a look at all the other podcasts that CJSW has to offer. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone to join me. And we will see you guys in the next episode, provided I don't mess up the recording process and ruin a week's worth of effort from the whole team.
God, you better not.
I will
Again,
hope.
I swear, Robbie.
Right? Oh, that'd be awful.
Mic implant in your throat, so you just hook yourself up to any electronic devices.
I'm so glad that I started the actual recording, like the official recording. All right, I'm like as it stands right now, I'm about as close as I can get right now to having this be as even as I can without All right.
Teammates are stupid.
Yeah, we got a little bit of time to kind of just shoot shit before we start recording.
Didn't you already start recording?
Well, I did start recording. The recording is right now. It's already been started.
Yeah. Why? Confused.
Well, remember, there's like for every episode, there's always going to be a little bit of time right before the episode fully gets started for us to get our feeling out process, us to have our last minute checks of topics.
This already.
Yeah, this is your first time here. You've literally never been a part of this.
Yeah, but I was here on a couple episodes. It's just
No,
like,
you
yeah.
weren't. You were in the YouTube version.
No. He was here. That's not what he said, Bobber. He said he was here. He just wasn't in the episode. If you would let him finish speaking.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
He was here. He was in the Discord.
He
He
has
just
been
was
here.
listening.
But this is his first like official within the
you're talking too
episode.
much, dude.
No
Come on,
shit,
man.
Bobber. I thought this was his third one.
What? He's been doing this that long? Damn.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
It's crazy.
I've just been in the background. All right, I've just been in the
He's
in
been
the
in the
code.
back room.
Dude, I was going to say that.
He's been in the closet. I'm so proud of you.
In the
At least I can
closet.
reach the top shelf, Trent.
Oh! Got you there, Trin. Get it? Because you're short.
Want me to get your stepping stool?
Oh! Oh! Come on, Trin, stand up for
Jesus
yourself. I know it's not going to be much of a height
There's one
increase,
here.
but come on.
Let me get down to your level, Trent. How about that? Let me take a knee.
Fuck you, I'll shank your kneecaps, bitch.
See, actually, no. To get on Trin's level, you're gonna
Go for
need
the
like a
Achilles
magnifying glass up against the ant colony.
I love being the tallest one here. No one
Okay.
can ever do short jokes towards me.
You're still
but I can
short,
make
bitch.
How's the weather up there?
Barely
Chris?
tall.
Actually, no. Trin, make sure that.
I hope you always bruise your forehead when you walk through a door frame, Blaze.
Jesus, Trin. What,
He's exactly 6 foot. He's fine.
Trin, remember how much
I hope
power
the
you
oxygen-
hold.
I hope the oxygen is so light up there that you pass out.
Oh my god.
Oh.
But yeah, Trin, remember how much power you hold. All you have to do is make his character slightly shorter than the rest of us.
I'm a mouse. The fuck?
Yeah, how you gonna do that against some?
He's gonna be a humanoid-sized
granted,
mouse. It's gonna be a
granted,
hyper-realistic
No,
mouse.
he's on the
Being
bar.
the
What do you mean?
No, I
He's
still like
on
the
the bar.
idea. I like the idea of the humanoid is like has a mouse mask, and then there's a little mouse on his shoulder that is his voice.
Yeah,
That's the idea.
That's-
I like that. I like that idea. I'm totally gonna not pack a bowl real quick before we actually get started.
If it makes you feel any better, in the beginning bits of some of the stuff
In the
you guys are
beginning.
going to talk about, I'll
Shut
probably
up,
just
Bobber.
probably just mute myself because I don't have much to add.
That's fair.
Damn.
Well then, in the beginning.
In the
I'll-
beginning.
in the beginning.
I'll be over here
Nobody's
playing
gonna
Pokemon
know what
Snap.
that means. They're gonna get all the way to the end of this episode. They're
Yeah,
gonna
boy,
listen
the
to
traveler.
Hold on.
The winnower and the gardener.
God, we're so fucking retarded.
Oh my god. I love this group.
I thought I just saw
Look at
a shiny
that bubble, yeah.
Chansey. God damn it.
So Trent,
Hmm.
you smell.
I know. It's been very warm in my workplace. The AC broke last week.
Okay, so what
Okay,
do
you gotta
Trent?
add on to it. Be like, yeah.
I've been a sweaty bitch at work and I hate it.
Man, it's been a sweaty bitch at work.
I'm a sweaty
Hopefully it'll get
bitch
fixed on
regardless of
Monday.
where I am.
I mean, if you count like my hands get sweaty because they're in gloves all day.
No, it's because you masturbate too much. Let's be honest.
How does that?
Friction.
How does that make my hands sweat?
Friction.
Friction.
Friction creates heat, which evaporates moisture.
You
Excuse
gotta
me.
use the sweat as lube.
Exactly. You jerk off
Oh
so
my
fast.
god, I hate all of this.
I didn't say anything, just for the record.
I'm totally
Yeah,
leaving
I'm
that
I'm just
in.
over
A
here
lot
playing
about that.
Pokemon.
All right. Is
Playing
everybody ready?
Pokemon sleep right now?
Dude, talking about Pokemon sleep. I'm gonna Pokemon put you in a coma.
Put me in
That
the
doesn't even
fur.
make any sense.
It doesn't have to. It's
Father,
Pokemon.
I'm gonna hit you so hard they're gonna need the fucking Snorlax flute to wake you up.
I'm
There you go.
gonna hit you so hard that they're gonna need to take your ass back to Nurse Joy.
She's a
Gotcha.
she's a vet for animals, not people.
Yeah, because he's a
Gotcha, you
furry.
guys are so
Yeah.
nerds. Can we get on with this?
I like how you,
No.
No. This is content right here, Trent. This
This
is
is
8.5
my
minutes of
podcast now.
content. You kidding me?
This is my podcast.
This is
man.
my
it's been so
Exactly.
long in content that my headset has started dying.
Alright. I'm ready to go. Everybody else ready to go?
Going last.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not. You have to
No,
follow
ready
the
to get the
order.
Fuck outta here.
I've dropped my brain.
Alright. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Intro playing in the background.
Beep 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 beep.
Bobbert made me lose gold last night and I'm upset.
Oh, poor baby. Maybe don't play fucking comp Omega Strikers all the time.
I've been playing normal games this entire time, Bob.
Oh, yeah, but whenever we play together, you're like, "Whoa, what's the point of not playing comp? We gotta play comp."
That sounds
Yeah.
like an argument you would make.
No, I stand with Robbie at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because there's literally no difference between normal matches and
but sometimes I just want to do a normal
and
match,
comp.
not worry about
besides
comp.
MMR. It's 100 year quest. It's a century quest, my guy.
Oh, it is a century quest. Menace, tell
Jesus Christ.
Menace, tell us about the 100-year quest.
Off to a great
Man,
Let's go.
Man, shut up.
party to a
Shut
great
up,
start.
man.
Nat 1,
Also,
Nat
I'd
1
like to
communication.
appreciate
Honestly.
this can be edited out, but I like to appreciate that your battery's at 69% in the last topic list that you sent, Bobbert.
Yeah, well, it's all about the little things. It's all about the little things. Gotta appreciate in life.
Yes,
Yeah, you
exactly.
should know about it.
But
But yeah, Menace.
Anyway.
If you like harem anime,
see,
guess.
I see where you're going with that, Blaze. But also, there's this anime that came out not too long ago. It's an isekai, and isekai has been done over and over again. But the man gets turned into a vending machine.
Dude, I can't comprehend the ridiculousness of that.
That sounds so fucking stupid, excuse me.
Actually, it's a fairly decent watch.
It's
this-
very funny.
Is that on like the same level of like there's like an anime where it's like oopsie whoopsie I got turned into a slime or my roommate is a cat or something?
Reincarnated as a slime is actually a lot more serious than you would think. But this one is a very lighthearted comedic anime. Like they're in a battle and he starts just shooting out cans. Later on they're being attacked while on a cart. So he starts shooting out Mentos and 2 liters out of his vending machine body, and he he can't talk, so he has to communicate through this voice thing on him to have them put the Mentos in the 2 liters and launch them at the goblins that are chasing them.
Jesus,
Not my
Jesus
problem, but they was a
Christ.
dragon.
that's great.
With backtracking really quick to how you said a lot of the episodes have of the dead in their name and everything, a part of me wonders if that is a nod to George Romero and his movies of shit.
Dawn of the Dead.
You think
Day
I'd
of the
fucking-
Dead,
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead and everything, of the dead, and he was like the grandfather of the zombie genre for in media and everything. So it could be possible. Yeah, maybe they took a bit of a touch from High School of the Dead, but honestly, since it's a zombie, it's zombie related, it is also entirely possible that they took made an homage to Romero, which is pretty cool because he is the grandfather of zombie-based media.
I'll always love my man, George Romero. I'll always love going to Black Ops 1 and playing Call of the Dead and being able to see him.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's relevant. That's relevant.
Never a time where you can't bring up zombies, Bob.
There will
a time.
never be a time, especially there will never be a time that I will not talk about zombies, especially when we're talking about a zombies anime. But
I was gonna
that's
say we're literally talking about zombies. Of course, he's gonna fucking mention Call of Duty
Exactly.
zombies.
Well, unlike Call of Duty Zombies,
So he's fully but thinking like, I'm not gonna fucking survive this shit. I'm gonna get bit. My ass gonna get bit one day. Like, that's his whole mindset. He's not like, I'm gonna try and live. Something. I'm gonna.
Not
Like, is
really.
I was gonna bring that up. That it kind of reminds me of Shaun of the Dead. Speaking of zombie
Right?
movies, where
I
at
love
the beginning you kind of see everybody shuffling along, doing their daily routine, but they still look zombified. And then when everybody becomes a zombie, they're still doing it, but they are an actual zombie now.
Yeah, I really appreciated their depiction of that. But yeah, also I just want to say, I got the name wrong. It is Zom100 Bucket List of the Dead. So,
Okay, this is the dead. All right.
yeah. I'm gonna. Oh, should I just like take a sample of me saying Bucket List of the Dead and then just like slapping it over top where I said the original?
No.
That'd be so funny.
Keep it at it.
Podcast is already cringe enough as
power
it
of
is.
editing.
The power of
Power
editing,
of
anything is
editing.
possible. Oh
Cringe
man.
as
No.
hell.
When you go to fill up your tank of gas at Demeter,
That's fucked up.
Shut up.
There's the door, Robbie. Get the fuck out.
all right, have a
Go
good
home.
time, guys. I shall see myself out. No, there's an episode out there that nobody will ever see. There's a lot of stuff that's within this episode that we just talked about last week, and we're just like, well, we spent all this
No
time.
one cares. Let's continue.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Talk about it.
My question is, art style to art style, which is better, the Spider-Verse movies or this?
I can't speak on the Spider. I saw the first one, but I didn't see. Okay, yeah, I didn't see the second Spider-Verse movie, but I'd probably say that one.
I gotta give it to Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse definitely is the better one.
It's kind of
but
not
with-
fair though to say that because
They both take their own unique take on how the animation works for each film, and they
I'm just
both
happy.
work great in their own right.
I'm just happy I'm actually getting original animated works.
It's
Again.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it's not really original when you're basing it off of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's
was
an
gonna say,
original
it's a-
story, though. We haven't had like a.
That's true. Well, yeah, you're right. We
Team,
haven't
a
had an
coming-of-age
origin
story
story
for
for
that.
the Turtles.
Yeah, isn't Baxter the guy that got like with the Krang and everything?
They didn't do anything with Krang in this film.
I would
but
assume
he's
they
the
do
one
No, I
that.
was saying, isn't Baxter the one that like got involved with the Krang and everything? Like
Huh?
in the older shows and stuff like that.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
I can't pass.
I wonder if it's gonna be like what is it? The like you actually got to be stealthy and stuff like that. Like
Ghost of
Calling it
Tsushima.
now.
I
That's not
can't
the
remember.
Yeah, it would be like Ghost of Tsushima, like
Ghost of-
like
yeah,
similar
Ghost
to
of
that
Tsushima,
in New
yeah.
York or as last Ronin or like different places. That would be cool.
Right. Oh,
Speaking
and then
of this, I just realized Donnie is a Gojo stand, if I remember correctly.
what?
Like one of the promotional art, you can see like a little scribble of Gojo
That,
with them.
I mean, he is a fan of pop culture and manga and anime.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I don't know.
In the movie, Donnie makes so many Attack on Titan references.
Also, can I say I was so surprised to see Leo be the one to take the interest in April because usually it's Donatello or Michelangelo. Leo's too focused on being a leader.
Yeah, but they're kids right now. So come
Exactly, they're kids.
That was one thing I kind of really liked about this version of Leo. He wasn't focused on being the leader of the group. They all just kind of looked at him to being the leader when
He's the
push
leader.
comes to shove.
Yeah, I didn't like that they made that like his whole character essentially, like as
Yeah.
the movies and stuff went on.
on. Oh, okay, look. That's the whole point. That's the whole point.
They're all one
When you
note.
struggle with it for the entire movie franchise, it's kind of
Okay,
like
that's the writers
you've
and
gone
directors'
through the whole
fault,
thing.
not the characters themselves.
That's what I said. I didn't like that they pushed that to be his whole character.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, hey, you got to have some consistency across the franchise.
Look. Are you sure it's called consistency or lazy writing?
Oh, take your pick.
All
Yeah,
different names.
yeah. Game Pass is honestly the better deal when we're talking about like bang for your buck.
Yeah, it's better to shell out like what is it now, like 16, about roughly $16 a month, give or take. I'm not too sure what the Canadian.
Yeah, it'd be around $18 a month Canadian.
Yeah, so 16 to 18, depending on where you're at in the world. You know, it's better that a month, and you can try out a game versus dropping the fat whatever it equates to in your currency.
Right.
The fat dollars. Yeah, anywhere from $60 to $80 roughly.
Especially with
for
how
a game that you might not even like.
Especially with how digital downloads are now, where you can't. There's some games if you play enough of it, you can't get a refund on it.
That's how Steam works. I think you have to have less than, it's either 45 minutes to an hour of gameplay before you can refund it. And with some of the games, especially like, with RPGs and everything where you can create a custom character,
that
for me at least, I can spend I spend at least an hour in character creation. So like I didn't even get a chance to try the game out, and already my refund window is gone.
Yeah.
So with I'm not too sure how like PlayStation or other forms like PlayStation, Xbox, I'm not too sure how their refund system works, or other places where you can buy games such as Origin or oh shoot, what are the other ones like Epic Games and all that. Like I'm not too sure what their refund policy is, like if there's a time frame, but I do know Steam has a rather strict time frame policy.
It's I actually know what it is.
Epic gives no refunds.
You have 14 days to return it as long as you've played less than 2 hours.
Yeah,
but you can make a statement towards it if it is past those days. If you have a valid reason and it makes sense to them, they will accept it. Because I have done returns before where I played the game for like 4 hours, but that was mostly because I spent like an hour in just character customization and making my character, and then I spent another good chunk taking a break to go get food. And that put me over the time limit, and they still let me do the return because I returned it like within just a couple days of buying it.
Nice.
Okay, well, at least and what was this, Epic Games?
No, it was Steam. Their thing sounds strict, but if it's within like reason, like you played it for like 3-4 hours, you paid for like 2 hours over it, but you returned it like that day, they're pretty reasonable if you put a statement to it if it's a little bit past their requirement.
It's all about how you appeal it.
Yeah, I've only ever refunded one game on Steam, and so I didn't really know. It's like as you said, it seems strict. I know one person where when he buys a new game, he puts a 45 minute to an hour time limit or like timer on his phone, and if he doesn't like it by the time his timer goes off, he refunds the game.
Interesting.
That's actually a really good way to do it.
Yeah, if he doesn't like it by the time, or if he's not getting into it by the time his timer goes off, he'll refund the game, which is, like I said, that is a pretty smart way, because then you can also keep track of your time and you don't accidentally go over the limit and you have to try and make an appeal.
I will say I am glad that
I've gotten a pentakill with Jinx. I'm not that bad at her.
Yeah, all you gotta do is launch one missile across the map and you get a pentakill.
It was not an alt pentakill. It was me standing there constantly left clicking and auto attacking for 5 seconds because my team did all the work.
Wow. Yeah. Sounds familiar.
But I will say with the...
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Guardian, protect Burger Town. Guardian, cross the street.
The only mission for any Call of Duty campaign I'll ever remember is when they go onto the Russians invade the airport.
Obviously, you don't remember that. It's the most iconic mission in all of Call of Duty.
That and when Alex
the most
Mason
controversial
got out of the
mission
chair.
in all of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Wait, he wasn't even in that one. What? In Terminal? The one with no Russian? No,
he wasn't in that mission, but
he was just saying
that that's the only mission in Call of Duty.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
Which is very sad.
What would be the plot of an Uno movie?
Cinematic universe, just like Barbie. Come on.
No, I know. But
Getting Uno, duh.
Getting.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair. You gotta get Uno.
Little
That is
Yachty's
the
gonna
goal.
be in it, so
Little Yachty. I would pay money to see Little Yachty be in an Uno movie.
I'm gonna call him Little Yahtzee.
Little Yahtzee. Oh man. Sorry, future Rob, for that cough. It was gross. But yeah,
So, my opinion of Baldur's Gate 3 is honestly, it still doesn't top Dragon Age. Dragon Age will still always be the best fantasy RPG that's ever been made. But it is, shut up, it's the best. In my opinion, in my little nerd heart, it's the best. But it comes like pretty much right underneath it. I'd say at this point, it's probably even better than Bethesda's. And I know that might be a bit of a take.
Right.
I don't know how hot.
Saying it's
but
better than the Souls.
Yes.
that's different. I'm dog shit at those by myself. I can at least play this by myself. I need my handheld in Souls games. Anyway,
it's been out a
aside from that-
week, and streamers have already been banned off the platform.
well, yeah, we're not going to talk about the
This game,
some of the
this game,
aspects.
this game worked its way
The
to
full
its M
frontal
rating.
aspects.
It definitely gets its M rating. I've seen a couple of the cutscenes, and in the character creation, there's literally, in some character creations, you can, hide armor, kind of to see how the lighting works and maybe edit your character's underwear. With this, when you do that, it's all out there. You're just open to the wind.
See, the one thing I noticed is that even when you have your characters back facing to you, when you remove the clothing, it just goes straight to a front shot.
Yeah, like I said, it's just hanging out in the wind.
It is
there.
unapologetic.
Game of
is
Thrones.
nice that- it is. They did. Larian did add a setting though, to where you can turn that off, which is nice because for streamers or content creators in general, or just people who don't want to see that, that's understandable. I don't think kids should be playing this. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't think kids should be playing this.
They are.
I will say,
you can't
though-
stop anyone. You can't stop you can't truly age restrict a game. We tried to talk about that. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So you can't truly age restrict a game, but parents, I do feel that if your kid expresses interest in this game, do monitor them, because there is some moments and scenes, and it's just there. It's D&D, and I know D&D for decades has had a bad rap, and it's not even that. It's just there is fighting, there is uncomfortable topics and things that can arise and everything like that. So I would just say monitor your children. There is a setting to turn this off, and I would suggest that because they shouldn't be seeing but it's besides that that's a tangent. Or if they're a part of your party and you don't like the fact that the fucking rogue is a rogue, you can just be like, what, Asterion, I want you to be a paladin. Oh, totally. First glance it doesn't seem like it's that in depth, but I mean, they did add a lot of stuff you can do to create your character, and the thing is, you're not really you can focus on how your character looks like, but the main thing is your stats, your class, what you're good at, and everything. That's the main juice of D&D. Your character's class and what they do.
We all know it's the drip.
No, we all
I
know
mean,
it's just a purdy, guys. Gotta look all purdy.
I have heard
Well,
of so
there
many.
No, I was just gonna say, I did kind of fall into that aspect because, you can have your armor, and then when you rest at camp, your character does change to their casual clothes. And I have already caught myself when I've been at the merchants who sell casual clothes. I'm like, God, ooh, some of these, I don't know, they might be a good drip, but I'll save quickly before I buy it, because I'm like, it might not look that good, and 9 chances out of 10 it doesn't look as good as I thought. But so yeah, I try to get the drip.
I've heard of so many people that are buying the game just so they can use the character customization to make references for their D&D characters.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's such an amazing way. I've already, even when it was in an early access, I was using it to recreate some characters of me and my friends that we have, because it's such an interesting tool to visualize your character in a 3D sense.
There'd be great references for drawings or shit like that.
Right.
Oh, totally. Which, by the way, I don't get that bad, but when you do a long rest, you have to use 40 units of food. And some of them have higher quantity, or a bowl of soup can give 10 versus a fish head that's 1. I will admit, I find more joy in finding camp supplies than I do finding actual loot. I find these boots that are really cool, and I'm I already have good boots though. I don't really need these. I go to the next chest and I find a bowl of soup and a mug of ale. I'm like, oh my God, I hit the jackpot. Hell yeah.
Good soup.
Yeah, a
You
pile
actually
of
played D&D.
Yeah, I find a pile of 50 gold. Yeah, I'm not really buying a lot. All I got is fine. Oh shit. That thing's got like 2 pork rolls and a loaf of bread. Hell yeah. Like, that's what I get more excited about when playing this game, when I find camp supplies.
I just want to bring something up that I learned this week. Apparently, you can seduce the final boss in the game.
What?
Excuse me?
Oh yeah, you can seduce the final boss.
Honestly, that's such a D&D thing. I love it. I
fair.
love that. That's such, and that's the thing. That's what I love of what they did this. Yeah, you literally can do the stereotypical D&D stuff. You can be the flirty bard. You can be the stalwart paladin that does that, like, is no fun allowed.
You can be
the chaotic,
A murder hobo.
yeah, you can be the chaotic murder hobo that just kills everyone on sight. You can do anything in this game, just as in D&D. You can do anything. So you can do whatever your mind wants to do in a creative sense, and that's honestly the greatest thing about this game.
Subset was telling me about a boss that you fight that you're not even supposed to be able to kill, but you can use a wind gust to knock it off of a cliff and technically win.
Oh no, with that, it was a party. They found this cave, they were duking it out. They knew they were under level for it, but they tried to sneak around to get loot, and they got caught by his babies, and then the big mama got aggroed, and one of them figured out a way to use Gus to push the mama and a bunch of babies off the cliff, guaranteeing them the win for that part.
Oh, I've already done that. One of the bosses, he's like this necromancer wizard or something. I literally was able to win that fight because, he's a necromancer, so he had a bunch of fucking skeletons all over the place, and they were the most annoying thing. He just ran away because he's, a wizard. That's what they do. They run away. So, he just kept running away, maybe slinging a spell or two, but it was mainly the skeletons that were annoying me. So, whittle a couple of the skeletons down, and then I managed to get the barbarian up to the wizard, and she just kicks his ass off the cliff, and he was dead. And I'm like, hell yeah, I may have lost all that loot that he had, but he's dead. That's fine with me.
I even saw a clip where somebody says, I don't care about the loot. I don't kill things to get loot. I use the loot to kill things. They legit just drop everything down and use Gus to push everything off among a bunch of enemies. They take so much damage from all the loot.
Wait, they drop their armor onto enemies and it does damage?
Well, they drop the third party drop whatever random loot, like weapons, boxes, barrels, shit, whatever, down in a cluster in a pile, and then they just launched it off.
Yeah, like I said, you can.
That reminds me of
you can take your boots off and throw them at an enemy, and it'll do damage. I've seen someone do that. They just improvised weaponry. Yeah, they just took their boots off and hucked them, which is what you can do. That's the beauty of this game. You can do almost anything.
These
and
boots are made for chucking, and chucking's what I'll do.
Ridiculous.
The characters they made have such in-depth characters, backstories. Each character, you can work on their backstory and everything. They each have their own quests and everything, and they're all really well done. I haven't done all of them because of the fact there are quite a few and everything, and some of them are more closer to the end, which, like I said, I haven't completed the game. I am in the last act, but
Karlak, best girl.
Oh, she is. Next to Gale, best boy.
Yeah, I'd like to also take this time to bring up the Bungie state of the game. Essentially saying the same thing that we've all been talking about here. That they essentially made this whole thing saying, yeah, game development's hard. We're just gonna put out the next thing, and we know you'll buy it, so please buy it.
Yep, I remember seeing that about the state of the game. That was disappointing.
But it's true. They'll just stamp the name of the game, and the fans will eat it up. It is true. And like I said, I've fallen victim to it. I'm sure almost everyone has fallen to that because it's just what we do. Like I said,
we want to play games, man.
Yeah, we just want to play games, and these are titles that we really enjoy. And yeah, we're gonna probably be upset that it sucks, but we're gonna do it again. I am the biggest slag for life simulation games, and I know of 2 that are coming out, and I'm gonna buy them. Mm-hmm. They might be some of the greatest games out there. They might be the biggest steaming pile of dog dookie to ever come out. I'm still gonna buy it because I'm a slag for life simulation games. It's why I've spent almost a lot of the entirety of my money on the Sims 4 expansions, and there are so many. It's over like $500 to $700. So I've wasted that much money on the Sims 4. I am a mess.
I think we need to have a different conversation about Sims at some point, maybe after the recording. But yeah, I'm just so surprised that this lawsuit was just fake and nobody actually like took the time and diligence to actually fact check it.
It
Because
took
sometimes
like
it's
a
really
week
true.
for people to realize it was fake.
That's
Well, it's because
unbelievable.
it just shows how irritated we are. But again, they know they can get away with it.
Right.
After this, they may have. They're on
I was
thin
gonna say,
ice
that's why I
already. It's
do
like
hope that this does actually
Right.
hope that this does set a higher standard for at least for story like RPG games.
Knock
Oh,
on
yeah,
Because
wood.
with
totally.
Elden
It's-
Ring and Baldur's Gate,
Remnant.
it just goes to show that you can Remnant 2, you can make a really good game without having people shell out money every week for the new skin pack, cosmetic pack, whatever the fuck you're trying to
Yeah,
just shell out to people.
Color.
because like I get it. These companies have
Mhm.
employees to pay, and they probably have thousands of employees that are working for them. I get it. They have to make money. But here's the thing: if you make a good game, you will get your money's worth by making a good game. If you make a shit game, then of course you're not going to get your money. So make a good game, and it's gonna pay for itself, and you'll be able to stay afloat. Make a
Oh,
shit game,
but
and
what
that's your
will
own fault.
But why would you want to make a good game when you can
Cyberpunk
just-
2077.
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Hey, calm down. The only problem with all of this is that no matter what, good game or not, the people who are getting the money, the chunk of the money, are the CEOs, execs, and stockholders.
Yep.
Those people are getting the good
Oh
chunk
my
of the
God.
money.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but there was a game company that their CEO bonus got like increased to, and they're getting like $2.8 billion.
Good
Mhm.
lord.
And it's a game. I think it may have been Ubisoft or something. But then the people I was watching was like, huh? And where's all that money not going into the game, going into the CEO's wallet?
Yep.
Honestly,
Exactly.
yeah.
You know, that's just
Like,
how
there's
it be
money,
sometimes.
they're just refusing to really use it where it should be.
Yeah.
The more you can drain your audience's wallet, the better.
Yeah, but look, we're running out of money here. Nobody has that much disposable income anymore nowadays.
I mean, that's
People are going to be
fair.
more critical over what they buy.
I mean, hell,
And
now
Sounds like-
if they hear a piece of shit game came out, they are not going to waste precious money to buy a piece of shit game unless they really want to.
dude, this guy sounds immaculate. I am so happy to finally have some just yeah, like, you know, I'm just so happy to finally have my best friend. Dude, I'm trying to compliment. I'm saying it's so fun to finally have my best friend on the podcast. You know, it's been a long time coming.
Everybody's
Sounds
here.
like you're just trying to flex.
I'm not trying to.
Damn, didn't think you'd be playing kiss ass so much.
Hey man, I come from a business
I'm just his favorite, guys.
where
Come
you
on, you're
have to
jealous.
suck ass sometimes. You got to get right up in
Unfortunately,
there.
I'm his favorite, guys. So
Oh,
sometimes you
yeah.
gotta get-
I'd
That is an
assume
unfortunate
I
thing.
assume you'd be his because me and Menace both want to take the podcast from him.
Yeah, and then Trin's just the one in the background making doodling and drawings.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
Trin is Switzerland right now.
It's like a civil war going on. But yeah, or sorry,
He
Porkamon.
turned into a Pokemon.
He's a Porkamon.
Pokemon.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah, that thing we thought of. No, we
After
don't-
we're done with the recording, I'll tell you all about the Pokemon.
We don't need a lawsuit from Chowder, okay? Come on.
Like they give a shit about the show anymore.
Well, you don't know that.
How can a dead show sue us?
You would be
Well, I
surprised.
How can a dead show from a dead company sue us?
You never know,
Exactly.
man.
Cartoon
But yeah,
Cartoon Network can slap us with something.
right?
Cartoon Network closed down. What do you mean?
Somebody will
Since
take
when?
action against
Uh,
them.
They
for
just
a while
announced
now.
that they're closing.
Yeah.
Their studio is
Network, the
closing.
studio
They're
is
not
done.
being. They're
It's
not
over.
dissolving. It's just their studio that's closing.